Once a year, the PBA Touring Pros join forces and bowl in a doubles competition. Bob Benoit and Ballard Jr. are the defending champions, and after qualifying 5th, will look to become only the second PBA Doubles team to win back-to-back titles. In order to win 2 in a row, they'll have to defeat twin brothers Mike and Mark Scroggins. ESPN and the Professional Bowlers Association present the championship round finals of the Beaumont PBA Doubles Classic.
And welcome everyone to Crossroads Bowling Center located in Beaumont, Texas. Hi everybody, I'm Denny Schreiner, and since this is a doubles competition, I have to introduce my doubles partner, Mike Durbin.
Thanks, Kemosabe.
Yeah, if you'd have thrown a few more strikes, we'd have made it to the top 5.
Well, there were too many Indians.
That's right. I was the leadoff batter, and he was the anchor. But let's talk about the doubles competition. Mike, you bowled for 20 years on the national tour. What's it like when you finally get a teammate out here?
Well, it's a lot different, Denny. It's a different mentality. Suddenly, I'm not just responsible for myself, but I'm also responsible for my partner, at least trying to hold him up. And you always have the mentality that you don't want to let your partner down.
The number 5 seeds are the defending champions, Ballard Jr. and Bob Benoit. And Mike, this is a very successful doubles team.
Well, like you say, they're defending champions. They're both Texans, Denny. I think the reason that they're so successful, though, is that they throw the ball somewhat alike. They both throw it a little slow, they both hook it a lot, and they both get a lot of strikes.
Number 4 qualifiers, 2 very talented left-handed players who have yet to break into the PBA winner's circle, Richard Wolfe and also Brad Snell.
Well, Brad Snell has won 12 regional titles in his career. He's been close to winning a national tour. He just never has made it. Richard Wolfe kind of has that label or curse of potential, but so far it's unfulfilled potential.
You have to look all the way back to 1971 for the last time that an amateur won a PBA event. Now, our number 3 qualifiers, Michael Lickstein and Patrick Allen, what kind of a shot do they have tonight?
Well, it definitely is a long shot, Denny. For an amateur to beat these talented professionals out here is not easy to do. But these guys have some credentials of their own. Michael Lichstein has won over $300,000 in amateur tournaments, and he's only 23. Patrick Allen and Michael both bowled in junior tournaments when they were teenagers. Michael won 23 tournaments, Patrick 21, so they got some talent.
And if you were a handicapper, perhaps our number 2 seed team, which consists of 2 very solid players, and Hugh Miller and Parker Bohn III, might be the selection tonight.
Well, I think they are the favorites. You know, Parker is a 4-time or 6-time champion, and he won just 4 weeks ago, so he's got the hot hand. Hugh Miller has the reputation of bowling very well on television. You can always count on him to be throwing the ball in the pocket, so they're the ones to beat, I think.
A very unique team has nailed down the top seed position this week. They're a set of brothers, and they're twins as well from Amarillo, Texas, Mike and Mark Scroggins. Mike, of course, won earlier this year, but Mark is a bit of an unknown commodity.
Well, in some instances, both of them are unknown because they're so new. Mike has only been a member for 4 years. He won earlier this year when he won in Sacramento. Mark is just bowling in his 3rd tournament. But obviously, they bowl with each other for years. They know each other's games. They know how to line up one another. The question will be, can they relax and make the shots that they know they can make tonight?
All right, $28,000 will go to the winning team, and the opening match is just about ready to begin. And, of course, it features Ballard Jr. and Bob Benoit. They're the defending champions. They'll take on Richard Wolfe and Brad Snell.
All right, championship round pair, 13 and 14 here this week at beautiful Crossroads Bowling Center.
A little confusion right off the gate of who's going to start the match. Richard Wolfe will start on the right lane, which never happens. Remember, Denny, that the format here is a Scotch doubles format. You're only bowling on one lane.
Ballard on the unlucky, or is it lucky, lane 13, a strike for Ballard.
And when we talked to the only right-handed bowlers on the telecast tonight, they said that the left lane was about 2 or 3 boards tighter, and that Dell wanted to go straighter, and that's why he chose that lane to bowl on. And the anchor man's going to be Benoit, the old man of the telecast, and he's going to finish on the right lane, lane 14.
Richard Wolfe possesses a beautiful game, no question about that.
5-step player, lots of lift and speed. 3-9.
A little light in the pocket. First question to you, with 8 left-handers practicing for about an hour on the championship round pair, how much different are they now than when they started?
Well, the oil carried down to a certain place, and then they clean, the PBA lane maintenance crew clean the last 15 feet. So really, all the carry down should have happened already, and there should be pretty even reaction, I would think, on the left side of the lane right now.
Good start, and a nice cover of the spare.
And we see the style, 5 steps, pushes. Now he's pushes a little late here now. Watch the timing right there. The foot's down, the ball's still going up, so it's slightly late timing. Snaps it through. Looks good there. Nice balance.
And his partner, Brad Snell, doesn't hook it quite as much, but tosses one right in the pocket for an ace.
Brad's a competitor. He'll fight you all the way.
Had a very good chance to win the Masters a few years ago. And then one of the 6 players ever to shoot 300 on national television, Bob Benoit, holds up on the team of Ballard and Benoit.
And he's the only one to ever bowl 300 in the championship match.
Big hook. Tries to settle in the pocket, nearly tripped out the 4, but it also had some company.
For a split second there, you know, then it made one more revolution. It might have been 6. 5-step player, cupped wrist. Look at the steady head and the low backswing, the bent elbow right there, the long slide, turns that wrist and hand right around the ball with that medium speed. Now watch how he throws it to spare. How different that is. That's his old style that he had years ago at the spare right there.
I still have a difficult time watching the professionals, either on the ladies tour or on the men's tour, when they don't throw it straight at the spares. Continue to hook the ball at the spares. I don't know.
Well, you know, Mark Ross showed us the way on that years ago.
Excellent shot by Del Ballard, and I had a chance to talk to Del and ask him why he and Bob had done so well in the past bowling doubles.
That's a good question. We both throw the ball fairly slow and hook it quite a bit most of the time, and sometimes I go a little straighter than he does, but he can see things that I can't see, and he helps me out quite a bit with my game, and sometimes I help him out with a lot of strikes.
That was certainly the case this week.
Live ball there. That ball hit about board 16 on the left side and just snapped that 7-pin out of there.
10-pin lead for Wolfe and Snell. We should see some strikes tonight, wouldn't you think?
If the practice is anything to judge by, the left-handers really were striking in practice.
All of them. For 3 in a row. A little high, and he'll have to settle for the 9 spare.
Boy, you wanted that one so bad, too. And the desire to get it, instead of throwing the ball slightly harder, he threw it slightly softer, and he crept a little high.
Let me ask you a question. When you're bowling in this format, you're shooting 5 frames on 1 lane. Are you trying a little harder when your partner has already thrown a strike to try and get the double? Is it different than if you would normally be throwing a double yourself?
That's a good question, Dan. Actually, the mentality, it shouldn't be, but you know as soon as he gets that strike, that the only way you're going to get a double is if both of you strike back-to-back frames. So I would have to say, yeah, you are trying just a little bit harder.
Strike here would put Benoit and Ballard back on top
by a pin.
Oh, he didn't like it the moment it left his hand. Got a big break as Bob Benoit leaves just the 10-pin, and his wife looks on, shakes the head, and says, "Come on, Robert, throw a strike next time."
Lorinda.
Benoit family here in full force, all 3 kids.
Right. He'll straighten it out at the spare.
Benoit and Ballard trying to successfully defend a doubles title, and that's not an easy thing to do. Of course, Dell defended a title earlier this year successfully.
He did in Long Island. Sayville Lanes. See, every time that Dell strikes on that left lane, it puts more pressure on Benoit as he goes to the right lane. There's Ballard's wife, Kelly.
She's looking over at Lorinda saying, come on, get your guy to throw a strike. this action moves quickly as well because players are already ready to go.
Well, they don't have to wait for the ball to get back there.
A little more hook. Boy, bad break there. 5-pin. Was it in front or behind the 10?
I think the 5 went behind the 10 and the head pin went in front of it.
That is a bad break.
And, like a bullet, it went over there too, I'll tell you. Or an arrow.
Pocket just exploded. Richard has a couple of regional titles, but has yet to win on the national tour.
Has to hurry.
Woo! Richard said, no problem. I use a little body English with that shot. And there you see an 8-pin match. Good match here to start.
Brad right now wants to just get him back on track, get something up on the board to work on.
Trying to dance out the 7, but he couldn't quite get the job finished.
It looks like his ball is hitting softer than of any of the 4 bowlers right now. Of course, he just gently arcs the ball. He doesn't have the snap wrist delivery or anything of that nature. It's a nice little roll to back in, relies on accuracy and timing and touch. And spare conversions.
A 7-pin lead for Wolfe and Snell, and from time to time throughout our telecast here tonight, we'll be showing you some of the beautiful sights of Beaumont, Texas.
Hey, they call me the fireman. That's my name. Making my rounds all over town, putting out old flames.
Bud Light proudly presents George Strait. You want good service? And RESPECT? Well, Mickey D's is the place. We guarantee we'll serve you ASAP and without an attitude. And at the drive-thru, we'll double-check your order so you won't have to. We'll treat you like a VIP because we want you to be satisfied. But if something's wrong with our service, we'll make it right. Or your next meal's on us. Hot, fast, friendly, and double-check. That's what you want. That's what you get. Guaranteed.
The championship round finals of the Beaumont PBA Doubles Classic are being brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. Bob Benoit steps up now in the 6th, and his team trails by 7, but they're on a strike. An X here, and they're back on top.
Well, this is the 3rd time that he's had a chance to put an X on the board and give his team the lead. See if 3rd time's the charm.
I bet it is. Couldn't trip out the 4. See Del Ballard up there trying to root that double in.
There are the kids, Janelle, Ashley, and Brandon. Look at Brandon there in that little tie.
Kind of like that tie.
Isn't he a sweetheart,
That's
huh?
Isn't that a double Windsor knot? No, maybe not. Okay. He's not even watching Dad. He's watching the camera.
What, do you blame him?
No. Well, you can see the tense look on Bob Benoit's face, though. He's trying to get the double, but hasn't been able to.
That's the part about doubles. You know, your partner's got to strike, too.
If they shoot a Dutch 200 game, do they get a patch from the ABC? Oh, won't have to worry about it
They're not going to, no.
Now, you know what's going to happen now.
Now, Benoit will strike come the other way. That's the way doubles goes. Anybody that's ever bowled double sweepers or tournaments or just pot games or whatever knows that it can be very frustrating. Straight at the spare. Dead center.
Richard Wolfe stands up with an 8-pin lead here in the 7th frame. Little extra time here.
And again, what they're thinking, is just, make a quality shot here, give my partner something to work on. that ball, but the revs coming in just kind of, the one pin just barely got the 3, and it's kind of like a bucket crumbler at that time. But it's a strike.
Serious pin action provided that time by Richard Wolfe. Brad Snell looks up and says, yeah, a double here gives us an 18-pin advantage.
Brad, when he throws the ball, kind of is almost like he poses for a picture in accentuating the follow-through at the line.
Didn't like the rack on 13, so chose to utilize one re-rack. They get 2, right?
Per team.
Right.
Same player can use both of them.
For the 18-pin lead, and they have it. Trying to send the righties down here in game number 1. Of course, the top 4 seeded teams are left-handed.
Watch the follow-through. Holds it right out there. The nice soft speed. Watch the 4-pin. Second from the left. Snaps that 7 out. Here's his reaction. To me, he seems the most intense of any of the competitors. Third 4-pin and 4 tries.
A little disgruntled. Benoit scratches the back of his neck and says, man, Dell, I really felt like I threw a good shot there.
See, when he makes his ace shot right now, it creeps a little bit high and leaves the 4-pin, and throwing it harder with this style is not in his repertoire.
Said that tonight he felt like he and Dell had the advantage if they could get by the first game because their lanes wouldn't break down and change as quickly as the left side might.
Some merit to that thinking. And they're still in this match. They have a potential 218 final score if they can take it out the sheet. Dell needs to set the 10th frame up right here.
More loft, a little more speed, and that one overreacts, and he leaves the 3-6-10.
But I think that's just an emotional letdown that they just haven't had a strike in 3 frames, and now it's going to be 4. The adrenaline wasn't pumping enough. It just wasn't as good a shot as he's been there. Richard Wolfe knows he can step up in the 9th frame and ice this game. Trouble. No, it's all but ice now anyway.
Ballard and Benoit, best they could shoot would be 193, so the dreams of perhaps winning 2 in a row will not come true here tonight.
Well, they still need a mark in one of the last 2 frames.
That ball was light all the way. Don't know whether he lost it or if he needs to make an adjustment.
I think it was just kind of a defensive shot here. He didn't want to go high, didn't want to give him an opportunity. He has an easy spare to make right now. He's already shot a 10-pin. He knows what the ball is going to do. He should have no trouble making the 6-10. And doesn't.
So a spare up for Richard Wolfe. Thumbs up look. And Brad Snell now just needs to
keep it on the lane, stay behind the foul line.
Finish out the 10th frame, and that'll be the end of Del Ballard and Bob Benoit. Good run for those 2 guys, though, getting back to the telecast. Six-pin goes, but the 10-pin stands, and Snell and Wolfe have survived the defending champs here in game number 1.
And they've got now the first game under their belt. The nice clean game, assuming that he can make the 10-pin here. They should be zeroed in on the pair. It'll be interesting to see if the next team comes on and what they do, the strategy, whether they try and make Richard Wolfe finish the game.
And the next team is comprised of 2 amateur bowlers, Mike Lickstein and Patrick Allen.
Actually, I think what they'll do, the team coming on, is they're going to have, I think they'll have Michael Lichstein be the anchor. So they're going to arrange the match so Michael finishes the game.
What could have been for Del Ballard and Bob Benoit. Only one doubles team has ever won back-to-back.
Cook and Albee.
That left-handed tandem has captured this event 3 times, more than any other team. Interesting note about this championship, Mike, is the fact that there have been 3, or I guess just 1 lefty team that has won this. That's, of course, Albee and Cook. The rest have been right-handed teams. There's never been a team comprising a right-hander and a left-hander ever to win this tournament.
Well, it could be, you know, in that situation. We were talking to Parker Bohn about that earlier. We asked him why he'd never bowl with a right-hander. And he said, well, if he gets in trouble, he's got no one to try and line up off of or help him with his game. He doesn't know whether it's really him or the lanes, and same thing for the right-handed partner, so he'd rather bowl with a left-hander.
Wolfe and Snell already in at 214.
And Bob Benoit undoubtedly will strike here on the fill ball, getting his only strike of the game.
Well, I bet on him a little earlier, and he left the 4. Got that one way out there. And that's where it stays. Final score, 214 to 180, as Brad Snell and Richard Wolfe win match number 1. The great Spindletop Gusher ushered in the age of energy here in Beaumont back in 1901. You can witness the evolution of the oil industry at the Texas Energy Museum.
At Swedish Motors, they spend a lot of time telling people where to go. But no one seems to mind, because Swedish Motors' reputation for one of the largest selections of Saabs and Volvos has current owners coming from near and far. What else would bring people to Marietta from New York, Maryland, Virginia, and from Harrisburg, York, and Lancaster? Only premier Saabs and Volvos, and a reputation that's worth the drive. At Swedish Motors, our reputation is your guarantee. Swedish Motors in Marietta.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Let's see. A mountain man must be fearless, sure-footed, willing to answer the call of the wild. But most of all, a mountain man should be thirsty for a smooth bush beer or an easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and see if you have what it takes to be a real mountain man.
Average Builders is brought to you by Pizza Hut, home of the free pie in July deal.
For tonight's Average Builder, I thought I'd like to look at an often misunderstood aspect of the sport of bowling, and that is timing. Now, in order to understand timing properly, I think we first need to define it. And here's my definition. Proper timing is when I have taken my next to last step and that foot is flat on the floor. The ball is at the peak of my backswing, my natural backswing, whatever height that is. Now, I threw a shot earlier. Let's take a look at it and analyze my timing on this particular shot. You see, it's a 4-step delivery, a push and step at the same time. Now, let's watch at the next to last step. There's the foot flat on the floor, and you can see the ball is right at the peak of the backswing. So on that particular shot, my timing was absolutely perfect. Once in a while, it happens. But let's take a hypothetical situation. Let's suppose that as I'm taking that next to last step, that the ball was still going up at this particular point. What would that mean? Well, that would mean that the timing was late. The foot already wants to go into the slide, and the ball is going to be late coming through. Well, what's the result of that? Well, most of the time, the result is that the ball goes offline. It doesn't want to go to target. For me, personally, it usually goes right of target. Well, what's the solution? Well, the solution is that I want to get the ball into the swing slightly sooner. So as I'm ready to start here, what I'm thinking is moving the ball first slightly before the foot. The ball pushes, and then I step. This is what Dave Sutar did last week when he discovered that his timing was late. Well, let's suppose the exact opposite has happened. That as I take that next to last step, the ball has already started down here. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that the ball wants to beat my foot to the foul line. And what usually happens there is that the ball will still want to go to target, but I don't get the lift. I don't get the hand release that I'm looking for, and so the ball hits the pins weakly. Well, what's the solution for that? The solution for that is just the exact opposite. What I'm thinking here is foot ball. I want to have the foot go slightly before the ball. So I step and then push. And that gets the ball into the swing a little bit later and corrects that timing problem. Remember, proper timing is when I take that next to the last step, the ball is at the peak of my backswing. And if you can get somebody to videotape you, I think you can analyze your timing even better. We'll see you again next week from San Antonio, where we'll have another Average Builder. And if you have trouble in the meantime, look up your PBA Pro.
And obviously, Richard Wolfe and Mr. Snell's timing was pretty good in game number 1, Mike, because they won 214 to 180. Let's take a look now at the rest of our finishers. Ron Palumbi and Dennis Jakes were close. Billy Young and Mike Edwards right there, too.
And Thomas Young and Alan Bishop, who won earlier in Quaker State, and Soper and Moscato.
Tony Westlake and Dave Ferraro were 10th this week. Bobby Learn and Jeff Lizzie were 11th.
Salvemini and Stayrook, Couch and Watka.
And 14th, Rick Sajak, a name from the past. And also Steve Wilson, 15th, Scott Devers and Dave Arnold.
Norm Duke, Hot Hand, Chris Warren, Bruce Hamilton, and Danny Wiseman.
18th place, Bob Davidson and Greg Thomas, and Justin Romick and Rick Steelsmith were 19th.
And Baker and Pensack, Mark Bradley and Dennis Ingle.
22nd, Harry Sullins and Ron Williams, and Ricky Ward and Adam Colton were 23rd.
And 24th were Kreitz and Randy Peterson. And Leto and Kazuski were the alternates.
And earlier here this evening, Bobby Dinkins, the PBA Tour Press Director, handed David Ozio the BWAA Bowler of the Year trophy, and well-deserved. David Ozio with a sensational year in 1991. When we come back to Beaumont, Texas, Wolfe and Snell take on, the youngsters from the East Coast. Should be interesting.
Here's another great reason to switch to Pizza Hut delivery. Free pie in July.
Free pie in July. Free pie in July.
Get a free medium single topping pizza when you buy a large pepperoni lovers, meat lovers, or supreme pizza at regular price.
Free pie in July.
Free pie in July. So make the switch to Pizza Hut. It's gonna be a great summer.
Free pie in July at Pizza Hut.
Over 1 million people each week walk into AutoZone, and taking care of them means having what they need when they need it. That means stocking a lot of parts for a lot of cars. Now, nobody can stock everything, but we stock more than most. And how do we know which ones to carry? That's easy. We listen to our customers, because nobody knows better about what you want than you. So the next time you walk through that door, you might think of yourself as a customer, but we think of you as the boss.
General Nutrition Center's Pro Performance Amino 1000, the scientifically developed protein supplement. Amino 1000 can help give you the edge. The Amino 1000 gel capsule, designed for fast absorption. Amino 1000, exclusively at GNC, the authority in sports nutrition.
One swing. Win in the Subway Grand Slam Challenge. Each home run on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball means a fan who names the hitter wins cash. A Grand Slam wins $50,000. Call 1-900-737-ESPN. 95 cents a call. Under 18 needs parent permission. Every home run wins. Grab the favorite meal of ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, a sack of subs from Subway. The Twins take on the Red Sox Sunday night on ESPN.
Join us on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball as American League All-Stars Kirby Puckett and Wade Boggs do battle as the Minnesota Twins go up against the Boston Red Sox from Fenway Park. John Miller and Joe Morgan will call all the action Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Ready to start match number 2. Boy, some hearts will be thumping right now, huh?
Especially back in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Well, they're going to have Patrick Allen be the anchor man on this team. Michael's going to lead off.
Unusual but powerful style, and Lickstein comes out and whacks the pocket and leaves the solid 7.
You know, he's had that style since he was 10 years old. We used to watch him. He bowled forever when we were out traveling on the tour. And I really never thought he would develop as an outstanding bowler because of that style, but he certainly proved us all wrong.
I can remember working in the PBA press room when Michael had to be, 8, 9 years old. He'd go out and bowl for hours. 10, 11, 12-pound ball. Hard and straight at the spare. And Lickstein with a spare up and a word for Richard Wolfe. A little chatting going on down there in the bowler circle tonight.
It was a word of encouragement.
I know it was. But, I mean, it's interesting. More chatter during the doubles than during the singles competition.
Light. Maybe he made an adjustment. You know, he finished off that game coming up light. I bet he moved the board left and wacko, 4-6-10.
Looked like he got a handful on that shot, too. It looked like a very clean shot with plenty of lift, but he paid the price.
Well, the PBA lane maintenance crew, all 36 feet here, Den. The last 24 feet are dry. And again, the ball acts as a transport, carrying that oil down the lane, changing the conditions slightly as the tournament goes on. Obviously, it's only going to change on the left side the rest of the night.
A look from the left side. Brad Snell trying to get his partner back into it and does so with a beautiful shot on lane 13.
And we're going to get our first look at Patrick Allen.
Have to tell you, I'm very impressed with his game.
He is an intense young man. I think that's the first time he's looked up all night during the practice or any other time.
Hasn't spoken to anyone other than his partner. Comes out and tries to tear the cover off it with the opening shot and leaves it a little bit light.
That's the last thing that he wanted to happen, Ben. He just wanted to get it in the 1-2 somehow, leave something easy that he could make or strike. Now he's got a makeable split, the 3-10. He wants to hit the 3-pin on the right and have the ball deflect into the 10. But it's not the easiest. We'll see if he throws it straight or throws a hook at it. Well, he's hooking at it, Denny. And he got it all right. He's breathing a lot easier right now.
Perfect shot. I had a chance to talk to Michael Lickstein and ask him what he thought his team's chances were this evening.
Well, I really think it depends on how we bowl. We're not going to get any gimmies. We have to bowl really good, make our spares, hopefully strike a lot, and to beat them, we're going to have to bowl really good.
Solid 7, solid 8.
An aggressive shot. All Michael can come back and do is smile wryly.
Here's the spare conversion by Patrick Allen. Watch where he throws this ball. Out around the second arrow and trusted it that it was going to hook back and hit that 3-pin on the right.
But that's the contemporary spare shooting.
Well, obviously he did it right. He made it.
He's doing the opposite. Hook it more to make the spare. But I guess the bottom line is if you make it, doesn't make a difference how. Percentages I don't think are in his favor, do you?
It seems like the contemporary shot now is you hook it at the first ball and you throw it straight at the second ball no matter what you leave. But, one-game match right now. They're still up by 8 pins. See what Richard Wolfe, what kind of an adjustment he makes on this right lane.
Strike here changes the complexion of this match. Light almost caves it in, and yeah, he's struggling. He's either light or high.
He's lost his right lane entirely right now. He's going to have to make some kind of almost major adjustment because the minor ones are not working right now. He moves the board right, and it comes up high. He moves the board left, or he moves the board right, and it comes up light. He moves the board left, and it's 4-6. At the 6 pin.
I wonder if they win this game at the end of the game if they'd change lanes.
Well, they could. They have that option.
Brad Snell trying to get back on the winning track. Did you and Gil ever think about anything like that when you guys won?
Well, we only bowled one game. We were the tournament leader, and so we just had one game to bowl. There was no decision to make after a game or two.
Of course, the other side of that is Snell is lined up on lane 13. Would you want to give up that strike every time on 13?
No, right? If it were my decision to make, I would say, you know, between the two, you've got to figure out the right lane, Rich. I mean, I've got my lane, you figure it out. I mean, and that he can do, rely on his talent and his ability to find something that's going to work on that lane.
The aggressive style of Patrick Allen. There's the thumper we were talking about. Little right-hand turn, that trip.
6 steps. Pushes it out there. Swing kind of goes around and back. When it comes through, though, you'd look at that follow-through. Dead right and then back. That happens so often. Not what you would teach, but he's knocking the pins down.
Strike here, and it's an 18-pin lead. Another good shot, and Mike Lickstein cannot carry on lane 13.
It's like Bob Benoit the last game. Another 6-step bowler. They got 12 between the two of them. Look at that hand, the way it's turned out. Now he's drifting to his right. Almost stops in the middle. And his follow-through kind of comes up like a cut shot in golf or something. Really interesting between these two. I'll tell you what.
But if you look at the ball position at the bottom of the swing,
which is the important thing.
That's it. It's all a question of how it gets there, and if you get it in the same spot every time, it doesn't make any difference. You mentioned probably some interest back in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Of course, that's where Larry Lickstein lives, the PBA Player Services Director for many, many years, former PBA Rookie of the Year and a champion out here. His son's bowling for his first PBA title, and I know Larry right now is just a touch nervous.
Annie, too. They're both watching back there.
I'm going to say you're probably right. Larry, just relax, sit back. Everything's under control. That's what Richard Wolfe is saying. He says, hey, Brett, I figured it out on the right-hand lane. No problem. You just take care of the left-hand lane.
He does look relaxed and confident out there, Richard. It's such a smooth release. Look at that straight follow-through. Just flush in the 1-2 pocket. Looks like you went a little straighter, a little more speed.
For 3 in a row. Ooh, was that a good shot?
Was that a flush 7? That looked like it was almost up for a solid 9 and left the 7. He can't believe it.
Talk about a deflating shot. You could just see his shoulders shrug off. All the air went right out of his lungs with that one.
Keeps team of Lichstein and Allen, though, still in the match.
Good match brewing here in game number 2 of the Beaumont PBA Doubles Classic. Brad can't believe it, but Richard says, I'm back on track and ready to strike here in the Lone Star State.
Summer Games. It could be the experience of a lifetime.
Okay, on the left. That's it. Smile. You're all related now. I know it's scary.
Aren't you glad you used dial?
Hold it. No, don't go anywhere.
Don't you wish everybody did?
Take the picture.
When a muffler goes, some people look for a cheap replacement. They think it costs less. Fact is, they can get a quality Midas muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, a guaranteed economizer muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, installed by experts starting at $24.95. So when somebody says they have a cheaper muffler than Midas, they're right. When they say they're better, fact is, they're wrong. Don't believe anybody ever beats Midas.
Patrick Allen steps up now in the 6th. His team trailing by a single stick. He really had a big night last night in the final 8 games of match play.
Sort of pretty.
Up to Michael Lickstein now to double things up and take the lead here in game number 2.
Well, Mark Williams looking on. 6-time champion, won the Firestone Tournament of Champions twice.
And he was pretty much the primary reason that the PBA ended up down here in Beaumont, Texas. Done a wonderful job with this tournament. And there is the slider hit. So Lickstein and Allen double up, and now it's going to get very interesting.
Hey, Michael possesses tremendous poise and confidence for such a young man. I mean, there's no super excitement. That's it, folks. I expect myself to do that.
All right. We're just going to take this one off the sheet and let everybody know that we're here. Rich Wolfe looking for another strike. Oh, man, did he label that shot.
Team very unlucky that Snell didn't carry that 7-pin in the last frame.
Well, that's behind. That's history, though, now, Dan. You got to look at it. You're trailing by 9 now. You can take the lead with a strike here, and he's asking for a re-rack. I mean, he's thinking this game just plays tricks on your mind, you know, and that can sometimes affect how you throw the shot. You look at that rack, and sometimes I think maybe you're better off not looking at any of them.
Of course, you were known to re-rack a few times in your career.
Well, I still have a callus on that index finger.
To retake the lead. Another good shot.
Pick the right rack. Good match. Good match. 1 pin the difference. 2.5 frames to go.
Pins you hear falling in the background, provided by Parker Bohn III and Hugh Miller. They're the number 2 seeds.
A little extra time. See where it goes.
Messenger, not today.
Well, he handled the first spare. Let's see. He changes balls now to shoot the 7-pin cross lane. It's a critical spare in this situation. He needs to make it to maintain a 2-pin difference in the match. Dead center. These kids are impressive at 21 and 23.
Well, interesting choice there. He went much straighter at the spare there.
Well, that's what you should do. Evidently, he felt it was easier initially to hook that ball into the 310.
I agree. Made a wise decision. Critical shot here.
Michael needs to set up the 10th frame.
Lets it rip. Waxes the pocket on lane 13.
Michael's been impressive this whole game. I mean, 5 solid pocket hits, 2 strikes, 7-pin, a 9-pin, and I think a 6-pin. But right now, Wolfe and Snell control their own destiny. Strike here puts them up by 12. Oh, whatever he figured out on that lane, he's been dead flush the last 3 times.
Oh, did he like that shot? And rightfully so. He's put his team in a position now to just slam the door.
A strike and 9 and a spare, and it's Lock City.
Snell with 3 out of 4 strikes on the left-hand lane this game.
Boy, they have really answered it. 9 pins is what he needs, and a spare. A strike assures him a victory. 8 or less, and we could still have a different outcome.
Can't do it much better than that.
You know, and you think back that they left that solid 7 back in the 6th frame that cost them 21 pins, and they're still going to shoot 238 in this game. They are really wired for the next match, and they're going to need to be against Bohn and Miller.
Perhaps a couple of PBA stars of the future in Mike Lickstein and Patrick Allen. Bowl a wonderful game, but they'll finish 4th this week as Richard Wolfe and Brad Snell got the job done, and those baby faces, we may see them on ESPN in the near future.
In the future, yeah. Well, Michael said it in the interview that we had with him. He said, we're not going to have any gimmies out here. We're going to have to bowl well in order to win. And they did bowl well, just not quite well enough.
Powerful shot by Patrick Allen, who has not changed expression.
He certainly hasn't. He can take it out for 226.
Really a joy to watch these young players come out here.
Woo! Was that quick?
Kind of tore that one off, didn't he? All right. Wolfe and Snell with the victory. The Associated Press named her Woman Athlete of the Year a record 6 times. She is Beaumont's own Babe Zaharias. And the winners of the annual Zaharias Award, Susie Faber-Hamilton and Carlette Gidry, will represent the USA next week in Barcelona.
Football fans, here it comes. Sports Illustrated gets you ready for the excitement of NFL football in this amazing new video. The 1992 Pro Football Spectacular, an action-packed preview of the 92 season. It's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. The best way to capture all the action and emotion of sports every week. Sports Illustrated's free video preview will put you in places you've never been before.
Stay at home if you don't want to get hit.
You'll not only get the best of last season, Sports Illustrated will give you their view of which teams could be next year's champions.
If I were to pick one right now, I'd say the Dallas Cowboys.
And who is the best coach, the best running back, and the quarterback you want in the clutch.
He's a great quarterback. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Starting today.
Call this toll-free number now and get a spectacular 44-minute preview of the 92 NFL season. Free from Sports Illustrated.
I love you, Mom.
Plus, you'll get a second video free with your paid subscription. Sports Illustrated will give you the NFL video of your favorite team, no matter which team you prefer. Pick any one of the 28 team videos. It's your choice, and it's a free choice from Sports Illustrated. Your team video will take you through the 91 season from end zone to end zone, from the sidelines to the locker room. Plus, you'll find out what's new for 92.
Anybody nervous? Anybody scared?
Get your 2 free videos, then 30 issues of Sports Illustrated, including the 2 big football previews for only $1.49 an issue. Save 50% off the cover price. Call now to subscribe or renew and experience football from a different angle with Sports Illustrated and your 2 free videos. The Pro Football Spectacular, plus the NFL team video of your choice. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. With your 2 free videos, you'll catch the best of the year, and you'll keep the excitement coming your way every week in Sports Illustrated. Call now.
There's a storm brewing on ESPN. Saturday Night Thunder. It's a night of lightning-quick action featuring live USAC midgets and sprints. Saturday Night Thunder on ESPN.
Richard Wolfe, Brad Snell with a wonderful 2:38 game as they finish with 6 consecutive strikes, and they defeat Michael Lickstein and Patrick Allen in match number 2. And standing by now with our Mike Durbin, the Twins, the top seeds. Now, Michael, do you know which one is which?
Well, Danny, that's what I'm going to try and find out. This is Mark, and this is Mike. But first, I got which is older?
I am.
You're the oldest by how much?
4.5 minutes.
So that's been bragging rights all these years?
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right, you guys look enough alike to me. I assume that you are identical twins.
Yes, we are.
Okay, no differences at all, huh?
Well, I take 4 steps.
You take 4, huh?
4 steps.
Okay. Did you guys have any fun with that when you were growing up? I mean, did you play tricks on your teachers or your parents or anything like that?
Yeah, all the time. We switched classes and everything. They'd never know.
They never know, huh? Well, I'm glad you got the mustache. We're going to know you can't switch bowling out here tonight, huh? Okay.
Yeah, they said we couldn't wear the same shirt because no one could tell us apart then.
Tell me, how did you guys get involved in your bowling career?
Well, it was really our mom and dad. They backed us all the way, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. Right.
Are they in the audience tonight?
They're over there sitting.
All right. Mark, I noticed that you've got a medallion on your shoes with the letters SAP, SAP on it. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we had a friend, a close friend, pass away last month. His name was Mike Sappington. He died from heart disease. He's only 25 years old. And kind of in tribute to him, I wear the letters SAP on my shoe to keep me going and really get me motivated to do things.
Life seems a little bit more balanced this way, huh?
Yes, it is.
Okay, one last question. The match coming up tonight, what's the strategy? Who's going to anchor? Who's going to bowl on which lane?
I think I'm going to anchor, and I think I like the right lane better. And that's probably how we're going to line up. Mark leading off and me anchoring.
Are you guys confident?
I think so. We outstruck all the other left-handers, so.
Good luck to you.
All right.
Okay. Well, we're going to see if Richard Wolfe and his partner, Brad Snell, can continue on winning their ways over Parker Bohn and Hugh Miller. We'll be right back.
Bob Murphy has been a putting instructor to such golfing greats as Lee Trevino, Mike Hill, and Tom Watson. Now you can get the same putting instructions as these pros who have won in the millions. Bob Murphy has assembled the secrets to good putting and has put them all together in a special videotape. Now you can get this Bob Murphy putting tape plus the outstanding practice device called the Confidence Cup. You get the special putting tape for only $29.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling. And the Confidence Cup is absolutely free. Get the benefit of Bob Murphy's 23 years of active tournament activity. Learn the importance of the putting triangle. See how Bob instructs the pros on the proper grip. Bob also demonstrates his technique on how to get into the right stance. This videotape putting lesson tells how you use visualization to improve your putting, and you have nothing to lose because there's a 30-day money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. Learn how to read greens, how to conduct drills. Call now to order your Bob Murphy putting videotape and free Confidence Cup.
For over dangerous speeds, treacherous turns, breathtaking competition add up to IMSA racing excitement. Buckle up for the G.I. Joe's Camel Grand Prix, Sunday afternoon at 4 Eastern, live on ESPN.
New team and a hot team facing each other here in the semifinal.
I talked to Richard Wolfe between games, and basically what he did to make that adjustment was he tried to move the target with his eyes and just tighten up the line really a little bit with a little speed. And the errant shots, he thought it was first the tape in the thumb hole, but it was basically just how he was getting out of it.
Snell starts with a 5 count.
Well, the only thing good about that is it's the first frame, and he didn't do it in the 10th frame of the last game, which would have been disastrous.
Only the second open for the team of Snell and Wolfe.
Well, he hasn't missed it yet.
Well, you're optimistic. If he had made that, you'd have never let me forget. Of course, I was rooting for him to make it.
5-step delivery. And it creeps up on the pins. Now watch the slide, the follow through, and he poses right there.
Here's a classic game for a left-hander. And an X on lane 14.
And Parker, when he's got his confidence, is as good as anybody in the game.
Hugh Miller, a seasoned pro with 5 career titles. And if he does nothing else here this evening, he wants to wish his daughter Mallory a happy birthday today, and he did so with a beautiful strike right there.
You'd like to give her a birthday present.
You're not kidding. Time for Richard Wolfe to head back to work and see if he could get something started on the right-hand lane.
Wow, what a start for these two guys. 5 and 6 and donuts both times. In the vernacular, the Greek church and double pinochle.
That's an ugly start.
Yes, very ugly.
Open, open. And while we're on the subject of opens, that, of course, will be featured tonight on SportsCenter, the first-round coverage of the Women's United States Open. And there you see some of the other stories that will be handled tonight by Keith Oberman and Abel Dan Patrick on SportsCenter a little later on tonight. Snell trying to get back to the pocket, and he does. Now the question is, will Hugh Miller and Parker Bohn allow these two gentlemen to get back into match number 3?
I'll tell you what, they're awful good bowlers to spot them 2 opens to begin with. I was busy with the interview and didn't notice whether Wolfe and Snell took practice balls on the practice pair. I guess they did take. I was thinking that maybe they hadn't, and they got a little cooled off.
Ooh, this one went wide. Parker has a little room, tried to bring it back, and didn't like that shot.
Parker seems to be throwing harder than anybody.
I think that's normally the case for Parker, though. He does zip it pretty good, velocity-wise.
Well, he's got such a nice free swing, and he has such good timing and rhythm when it comes through. It's just snaps it through there.
First time I saw Parker, I had a chance to chat with PBA Hall of Famer Dave Davis, who had seen Parker grow up as a junior bowler and told me he was going to be a sensational player someday, and David was right on the money.
Well, you know, he bowled in that same junior tournament thing that Alan and Michael Lickstein did, and he only won about 6 of them. He didn't win nearly as many as those kids.
Hugh Miller, one of the all-time great championship round performers. Excellent television bowler.
He's an excellent bowler. He just hits the pocket. His carry is not the best in the world. Sometimes he lets that reach him emotionally and reacts with anger.
Richard Wolfe, Brad Snell down by 32, but they're on a strike. They could start to cut into that deficit with a double here. Is that the head pin?
That was the head pin.
Oh, slow it down for us in the truck. Let's take one more look.
But I don't think the head pin's what knocked it over. Watch the head pin go over. The 4-pin slides over. And the 4-pin hit, the head pin hit the 4-pin, and the 4-pin knocked the 7-pin over.
Had him dancing in the aisles that trip.
I can cut it to 12 with one more.
Snell trying to get back into the thick of the match. And needs another break and doesn't get it. Boy, that would have helped the cause.
A little soft with the speed.
Strike there would at least put him back in touch.
Plus, it would have kept the momentum going with that exciting strike that Richard Wolfe got. Sometimes something like that can just be a spur to get a little extra adrenaline going, and you get really into the match, and the crowd's cheering, and it didn't happen.
On a strike, Parker could advance the lead to 33 if he X's here in the 5th frame.
Smooth style of Parker Bohn.
Nice and rhythmic, sends it out, brings it back, and that's a double.
As good a game as there is in the game today. 4-step player, pushes and steps right at the same time. Free swing. Look at how steady the head is. Backswing over the top of the head, but look at the pivot step. It's right in time there. The timing is perfect right there. And then the nice long slide, and boy, heavy fingers at the bottom.
Hugh Miller says, I'll join you, Parker. Let's put these guys away as early as possible. Parker Bohn, Hugh Miller, coasting here in game number 3, and they lead by a bundle. We'll be back with the conclusion of the semifinal right after these messages.
This summer, there's only one place you can see every minute of every game of the U.S. Olympic basketball team live. The dream team of Jordan, Bird, Ewing, Robinson, Pippen, Drexler, Mullen, Barkley, Stockton, Malone, and Magic. How? Order the Olympics Triple Cast. You get 3 channels running simultaneously, 24 hours a day. All your favorite Olympic events with absolutely no interruptions. All for only $29.95 a day. Order now and get all 15 days for only $125. That's less than $9 a day. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to order. It's like being courtside for 8 All-Star games, and there's only one way to see every minute of every game live. The Olympics Triple Cast. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC for the Dream Team. The Olympics Triple Cast. The only way to see every spectacular minute of these historic games. The Olympics Triple Cast. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC. Order now.
Richard Wolfe ready to step up and make something happen in the 6th after a re-rack. His team trails by 43.
As solid as Bohn and Miller look, they got to start thinking that they can't miss anymore.
That's one. Richard says, all right, come on, big fella. Let's get another strike here and give ourselves a pop at this thing, maybe down in the stretch run.
And they're in a situation that they could take this game out the sheet and still lose by a bunch.
Shoot 236, but after open, that's about it. And that's what they have to be wondering. Oh, man, if we hadn't thrown those bad shots to start things off, we might and have a chance to win this.
Yeah, from what I understand, they did not throw practice balls on the practice lane, and so you just never know. You know, I always thought that you needed to throw just one or two just to keep a little warm.
But you didn't pay any attention to the ball reaction?
None.
Just throw the ball.
Just throw the ball. Pay no attention to the ball reaction.
Good ball reaction here.
Woo! Oh, what a break.
And the break of the week. What? Hugh Miller rooting that one on?
Woo! What a break.
He hit that ball too hard.
Yes, he did. He really catches a handful here. A little soft with the speed. And look at the... Watch it here. See, well, we can't see what came out and hit the 4-pin, and it fell into the 2, and he almost missed the spare to boot.
A rather interesting frame as Parker Bohn extricates himself from trouble.
Shaky at best, but he got 10 down on 2 balls.
Hugh Miller, as you mentioned, just keeps pounding away at the pocket.
Well, what that does is it sets up a scenario the next 2 frames. Wolfe and Snell can get themselves right back in here, but they have to keep striking. Assuming that Hugh Miller is going to make the spare. Parker putting a piece of tape in his ball. Evidently didn't feel right to him. Maybe he lost it, and that's why the speed was a little less.
All right, a spare up for Hugh Miller. And don't forget, as soon as we're done here in Beaumont, we've got live top-ranked boxing from the San Diego Sports Arena. An NABF Junior welterweight, make that featherweight championship fight. Rudy Zavala and Jesus Salud. Jesus 41-5, and Zavala is 17-0-1.
Sounds like a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Has to have this one. He's ready. Shot of the week, though, is coming up for these 2 guys right now. To keep their hopes alive, he's got to strike here. Look at the revs on this ball, Denny. He gets more revs on 1 shot here than I got in a week.
Boy, just make them disappear all at once.
His reaction, he's ready.
To keep the match. Brad Snell comes through in the clutch. Look at Richard Wolfe up off the bench.
It's down to 10 pins now.
Parker Bohn has finished second in this event twice.
See, the thing is that if Parker does not strike here, the team of Miller and Bond cannot lock him out.
More speed. Oh, what a classy shot that was on the right-hand leg.
See, that just demonstrates how important feel is with that bowling ball. It has to feel right in your hand, or it affects the way you let it go. It affects the way you're thinking in your subconscious. It felt right then. He made a quality shot. Miller now needs 2 strikes to put him away, 1 at a time.
Up quickly, likes the shot, and leaves the 6-pin. Boy, that was high flush.
And that's been the story of Hugh Miller's career lately on television. He always seems to leave something at the crucial time. Most of the time, it's a 7-pin. They're still in this match. They're still up by 10 pins. He needs to convert the spare. No mistakes at this point in the match. Dead flush. Now a strike gives him 226 and makes Richard Wolfe get 2 strikes in the 10th frame to win. If he doesn't strike, if he gets 9 or 8, then Richard would only need 1 and a good count. We could have a tie match here then.
Beautiful shot.
Beautiful shot. Both of them were good shots. Richard Wolfe has to take it 1 at a time. He needs 2 strikes in the 10th frame. Obviously, they cannot win the match if he doesn't strike here.
Gave it room.
Oh, what a shot. Oh, man.
Four-pin whistle around the 7, and all Brad can do is grimace. Parker Bohn and Hugh Miller realize at this stage that they're in the title match.
And Richard is just, if we had a replay of him, he shouted something as he walked over. He was hot, and I don't blame him.
Great try for the win in the semifinal, but not to be tonight for Richard Wolfe or Brad Snell.
Watch his reaction. He's walking over and sees that 7-pin. I don't know what he said, but
I don't think it was aw shucks. Excellent performance by those two gentlemen, but they finished third. The Big Thicket National Preserve is 86,000 acres of pristine wilderness, perfect for pontoon boat trips, hiking, and exploring, and it's one of the world's most important ecological treasures right here in Beaumont, Texas.
It could be the experience of a lifetime.
Okay, on the left. That's it. Smile. You're all related now. I know it's scary.
Aren't you glad you used dial?
Hold it. No, don't go anywhere.
Don't you wish everybody did?
Take the picture.
This is light.
Pringles light. Those are great. Wow!
These are light?
Give me more!
Wait. Let's put Pringles Light up against these bag chips. There's 25% less fat in Pringles than in these.
You're talking my language.
And they're a lot less greasy. A lot less.
That's great.
Fantastic. These are great.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
But I don't have to.
Excuse me, do you know what stock options are?
I wish I did.
When is the weak dollar good for business?
Good? I don't know.
The world of finance and investing can be pretty confusing unless you call for this, the Wall Street Journal's video guide to money and markets. It explains the markets in clear, simple English and brings them to life. This exclusive 30-minute video is free when you call for 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal for just $37, over 20% off the newsstand price. Subscribe to the Journal and get a daily view of the whole world of business and how it affects you. Information you know you should know. Call now, and you'll be ready next time someone asks you, are munis always a safe investment?
I'm not sure.
Call toll-free 800-332-1800 for 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and your free video on money and markets. That's 800-332-1800.
Championship Frame is brought to you by Midas. For mufflers, brakes, and shocks, nobody beats Midas. Nobody. Match number 1. It was a shot in the 10th frame that put things away.
And Richard Wolfe needed to convert this spare, the 610, a relatively easy spare. He had no trouble with it. They went on to win the match.
And defeated Del Ballard and Bob Benoit 214 to 180. Then it was on to game number 2, 10th frame. This time it's Brad Snell.
And he already has one strike in the 10th. He needs this to shut the door on him. Makes just a classic, beautiful shot here. 10 in the pit. That was a victory in the second match.
And Snell and Wolfe put away the talented twosome of Mike Lickstein and Patrick Allen, 238 to 212. And then you want to see professional heartbreak at its finest right here.
Richard Wolfe needed 2 strikes in the 10th frame to win. Had to have this one. He can't throw it any better. Watch the 4-pin whistle around that 7. That's part of the sport of bowling. Here's his reaction.
And so it was a 3rd place finish for Wolfe and Snell. Miller and Parker Bohn III advance into the title match against the brothers Scroggins from Amarillo, as Mike and Mark will try and become the first brother combination ever to win PBA national title.
When a muffler goes, some people look for a cheap replacement. They think it costs less. Fact is, they can get a quality Midas muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, a guaranteed economizer muffler starting at $24.95. Fact is, installed by experts starting at $24.95. So when somebody says they have a cheaper muffler than Midas, they're right. When they say they're better, fact is, they're wrong. Don't believe anybody ever beats Midas.
There's no guarantee that what goes up must come down, that it takes two to tango, or that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But there's one guarantee you can always count on, the new McDonald's guarantee. Our promise of hot food, fast, friendly service, and drive-through orders double-check to be right. If not, we'll make it right, or your next meal is on us.
What you want is what you get.
Some things in life are guaranteed.
When it comes to professional bowlers, they're all great players, but only a handful ever become the best of the best.
There's more than muscle involved in becoming Bowler of the Year. Diligent practice, burning desire to win, and the best equipment ever built. These high-performance Columbia 300 balls provided me with the power I needed to make it to the top. Well, I guess a little muscle wouldn't hurt.
Final two teams, they stacked up 1 and 2 at the end of all the games here in Beaumont this week, and now they'll bowl for the title.
And the brothers have let the younger brother be the anchor. Younger by, what, 4 minutes?
4.5.
So Mark is going to throw his first shot on television. Says this is easy, Den.
Boy, was that a nice-looking toss.
The danger of starting the match like that is that you can put yourself in a position of being behind, even if you strike right away. When Bohn and Miller come out and go boom, boom, you're behind by 10. So the pressure's on you right away.
He into the swing early. And a wall shot strike as the 6-pin was the last to leave on lane 14. Hugh Miller looking for the double and the early lead here in the championship game.
Like a bullet, a frozen rope right in there, whack.
Of course, Mike Scroggins is already in the Firestone Tournament of Champions, courtesy of that victory earlier this year in Sacramento. But if they win the doubles tonight, Mark will also be bowling at Riviera Lanes.
Soft speed. Is it going to fall? Oh, boy, that head pin came zipping around and went in front of the 7-pin. Got the message over there. Two proud parents there, huh?
Eddie and Kay trying to relax, but you know that's not a possibility tonight.
Oh, yeah, I know what it's like to watch my son Matthew so many times in wrestling, my other son Mike in soccer.
Little hang-up thumper shot at the 7-pin, but nevertheless effective.
Well, it was intentional.
I know. Delay the roll, throw it straight.
Right. Knock it down.
Down by 10, Mark goes back to work. And you and I are both thankful that Mark decided to grow a mustache.
They wear a different shirt.
Could have been a tough night.
He's playing inside further than all of the other left-handers, and both of them are slowing it slower than the other left-handers.
Going through the checklist, saying to himself, did I not throw enough speed that time? Did I turn it too much?
Yeah, it's that turn early situation that all of us face, all the bowlers in the world seem to face. You know, you're trying to stay behind that ball and turn it late. At the spare, the 4-7-8. Has it.
Both Mark and Mike had very illustrious collegiate careers.
Well, there's a big difference from college to pro, then. And right now, you know, the spares are not going to win this match.
No, Parker and Hugh Miller are pretty revved up at this point. Both have excellent shots on their respective lanes. Absolute carbon copy of the strike in the first.
He should have carried one time. Why not try it again?
Oh, he's not playing it light.
Hey, he's just trying to hit the 1-2 with good revolutions on the ball and a good stroke. And if he hits that hit every time, he won't move. He's not going to move left or anything. He's going to stay in the same place and aim the same target.
You're right. For 4 in a row, Hugh Miller wasting very little time, likes this one, and whack, 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 4 strikes, and Bohn and Hugh Miller are right now trying to run away.
And that's going to happen unless the Scroggins brothers can start putting some pressure on them and get some strikes. This match is going to be over in a heartbeat.
The advantage of winning the semifinal game and having a game to bowl on the championship round pair of lanes. Nice comeback shot for Michael, but he can't seem to get the 7-pin to fall.
One-game match, you know, carries everything. If you're lined up to hitting the pocket, you're not carrying. It's hard to make that subtle adjustment to get that 7-pin out. And the frames slip by one by one.
Down by 34, and the team of Mike and Mark Scroggins need a strike right here.
Yeah, if they would win tonight, they could be the first brother combo to win PBA tournament.
Been 3 different brothers teams that have done it regionally. McCordick's won, Burton's won, and the Webbers won. Looking for the 1-2. Found it, but it was a little high in the 6-pin stand. It's interesting, you look at these two teams in the overview, both Mark and Mike throwing the ball a lot slower, hooking it a little bit more, and then Parker and Hugh Miller with a lot more velocity.
A lot more velocity and further outside, and they're playing the lanes further to the left, left of the first arrow, where both Scroggins, both of them are second arrow and right. We talked to Mark earlier, and he felt like he had, you know, he's playing him further than he had all week, but he felt like he could swing it more and get the ball back. He liked his reaction.
Will it be light? Oh, jeez. How did the 10-pin stand?
Well, again, the head pin went in front of the 10-pin and the 5-pin went behind it. Let's see if that's right. Just like that. Like a bullet, that 5-pin shot right behind it. Those phenolic pin decks, sometimes the pins slide faster on those. And with the pins with double voids in them now, they move over there in a hurry. I wouldn't want to be in the way of one of them.
What a game. The first 2 shots were much lighter than that, and he gets the wallies and strikes. This time, he dices the rack up a little bit and can't get the 10-pin to fall.
That's why I told you, you don't move.
Oh, wait a minute. That ball was 2 boards left of where it was the last time around and hit the pocket.
Solid 7, but that at least gives the Scroggins a little glimmer of hope if they can just get something going.
Well, they seem to have a good time regardless of whether they win or lose.
Well, it's about time to look down at that little medal on the shoe and say, you know, this is not the end of the world if we lose, but hey, we're not out of this yet.
Yeah, a double here for them would change the complexion of the attitude of this match.
It would change their attitude more than anything else, Dan. But you can only do it 1 strike at a time. And we bowl 5 frames. They've only had 1 strike. Mike has not had one yet.
He's due. Lets it out. Brings it back, and the 7-pin stands again. Boy, that's getting redundant.
3 times in a row, and now he says something to Mark, you know. At that point in time, you make your ace shot, and it won't finish flush in the pocket. You're afraid to move, but he's going to have to do something because, you know, spares, again, are not going to win.
He's had plenty of practice at the 7. And, of course, next week, the tour heads down to Astro Bowling Center in San Antonio, Texas for the championship round finals of the PBA Columbia 300 Open. Begins at 7:30 Eastern Time next Thursday night on ESPN.
San Antonio, the home of Columbia bowling balls.
excellent shot. So Mark with a strike on lane 13, a glimmer of hope for the Scroggins boys.
Well, they're almost in a situation now where they need to take it out the sheet. But you got to get one before you can get anything else. That's one.
Parker has picked up the pace over the last month. Ooh, was that a good-looking shot right there?
He got that in, but with the good speed, it held pocket. We saw earlier when he didn't have the good speed that it made the nosedive right, and he broke up that awful-looking split that he had there. And Hugh Miller just throws every ball in the pocket, like we said at the top of the show.
Very consistent, very steady, very professional. Now he's going to go back and dry off just a little bit.
And the clock is ticking. You wouldn't think that Hugh Miller, who's a quick bowler, would ever have trouble with the 25-second clock.
He's having no trouble with the left-hand lane. A 44-pin lead. They are gliding to a PBA Doubles championship. They would like to become only the second left-handed team to win this tournament.
Well, the only thing in their way now is Mike Scroggins, who's left 3 straight 7-pins on this right lane, has to strike now or it's all over.
If you ever needed it. Now's the time. Another bad break. And Michael just had one of those nights. Did nothing but hit the pocket, but couldn't get anything to fall.
And he seemed like he swung that one more out toward the channel, changed the angle a little bit, you know, made the bold move that he needed to do, but got the same result.
A tough night carry-wise. That's all it came down to.
In a one-game match, many times that's the story. We see up there, 5 9s that they have right there. All of those could have been strikes. 4 of those 5 or 7 pins.
There's a beautiful strike. So Mark gaining some valuable experience here tonight on ESPN.
That's about what it's going to be, though, because this match is all but over right now. Bohn and Miller need to show up for the 9th and 10th frame, but they don't need to do too much.
Finished second a couple of years ago. Parker also finished second with Dwayne Fisher one year, and he told me tonight the 3rd time will be the charm. I think we're going to win tonight. This. Parker says, yeah, I've been waiting for a break like that. And Hugh says, there's the high five.
Parker gets something to roll into the 6-pin. See if we can see what it is. The pin came from the other side. I don't know what pin it was.
Hugh Miller finishes things off. Parker Bohn and Hugh Miller, the winners of the PBA Beaumont Doubles Classic.
Well, we talked about it at the top of the show that they were the team to beat. They were in the ideal position. They had the experience, and they seemed to be a good combination between the two of them.
They just bowled sensational tonight.
I mean, hitting the pocket's the name of the game. That could have been 300 as easy as not. The 10-pin for Bohn and a solid 7 for Miller. We could be looking at 300 on this next shot of those two that carried.
And a night to remember for Mike and Mark Scroggins. They'll be back maybe next year in this tournament. 268 for Hugh Miller and Parker Bohn. They did it in fine fashion.
Can't do it much better.
This'll carry. Not even. Look at Michael turns around and says, man, oh man, what a night. Second place for Mike and Mark. First place for Hugh Miller and Parker Bohn III.
The bright, invigorating scent of Coast. Discover how it wakes you up and jumpstarts your day.
Up and at 'em.
Coast, the eye-opener.
Here's another great reason to switch to Pizza Hut delivery. Free pie in July.
Free pie in July. Free pie in July.
Get a free medium single topping pizza when you buy a large pepperoni lovers, meat lovers, or supreme pizza at regular price.
Free pie in July.
Free pie in July. So make the switch to Pizza Hut. It's gonna be a great summer.
Free pie in July at Pizza Hut.
Well, I haven't seen her lately, and she never calls. She don't ask my friends about me. It makes it hard to forget. She's about as gone as a girl can get.
That's a good boy.
A reminder from Walmart. No matter who you are, no matter what you drive, there's one sure way to get more out of it. Regular oil changes with quality Haviland motor oil. When you add Haviland, you add more life to your car. And with Walmart savings every day of the year, you're not only miles ahead, you're dollars ahead too. Saving money at Walmart. It's an idea that's really catching on. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
The championship round finals of the Beaumont PBA Doubles Classic are being brought to you by Coast Deodorant Soap. That crisp, invigorating scent makes Coast the eye-opener.
All right, Hugh Miller and Parker Bohn III, the winners. And now David Hornak will present them with the trophies.
Gentlemen, on behalf of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the City of Beaumont, Texas, and indeed all of you loyal fans here tonight, proud to present you with the winner's trophy. Congratulations and best of luck to you in future tournaments. You bet.
All right. And the general manager here, Frank Northrup, has 2 checks for our champions.
Hugh, Parker, on behalf of Southeast Texas and all the bowlers in the area and Crossroads Bowling Center, we'd like to give you $28,000 here. Congratulations on a great tournament.
When we come back, we'll talk to this dynamic duo that shot 268 in tonight's championship game.
There's a feeling all around us, spirit running strong. You see it in the city, you know that you belong. From the gentle rolling farmland to the Susquehanna shore, let nature's force around you where you'll feel your spirit soar. It's that Lancaster spirit, a touch of yesterday. That Lancaster spirit, getting stronger every day.
Congratulations, Lancaster, on 250 prosperous years from Community Hospital of Lancaster.
Oh, remembering our heritage, a feeling deep inside, moving toward the future, our brothers building pride. It's that Lancaster spirit, a touch of yesterday. That Lancaster spirit, getting stronger every day.
ESPN Home Video presents Practical Jokes on the Pros, a home video featuring baseball, basketball, and football stars that you'll watch over and over and over and over and over and over again. Oh, yeah? The hilarious Practical Jokes on the Pros.
268 to 182. Hugh Miller, Parker Bohn III, winners of the doubles championship. And I know you have to say hello to somebody here before we get off the air.
Oh, I'd like to wish Mallory a happy 6th birthday tonight.
I think she's probably pretty happy now. Parker, a great performance by you guys here this evening.
Well, thank you, Denny. First of all, we'd like to thank the Bowling Center right here. It's fabulous. And the Greater Beaumont Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's wonderful. Without them, I don't think we'd be standing here right now. To Mary, Parker, and Evan, I love you. I'll see you in another week.
One final question. Hugh Miller, you guys finished second a couple of years ago. Parker, you've been second twice in this tournament. It has to be sweet to win.
Well, we've both been second twice in this tournament, so I guess the third time's the charm.
Yeah, and it was so tonight. You guys will be back next year, right?
We sure will.
All right, and there'll be a team to be reckoned with. So long, everybody, from Beaumont, Texas.
We've got bowling from San Antonio next.